What is good, people? King's Vault here. Now today we need to talk about how Ascended Heroes is ruining the Pokemon hobby, not just for investors but for collectors as well. Things are just getting totally out of control. Now before I move into this, do me a favor and drop a like down below if you do go on to enjoy this video. Dropping a comment really does help me as a new channel, and I think you can actually hype these videos because I've a brand new channel, and it really does help me out. So let's move on. Let's talk about Ascended Heroes, the set list, the cost, what's coming next, and just my thoughts on the situation. Now, first, we are going to start with the actual prices that we're seeing for this set, which are completely insane, to be honest. Now, Ascended Heroes came out January 30th, so we're, 2 and a bit months off release. So it's an extremely new set, right? Historically, new Pokemon sets don't tend to perform that well, at least if you look at an average over the past sort of couple of decades. Normally, the latest set isn't really the center of attention. Sets come out, sometimes they perform well, sometimes they perform really badly, but normally we'd see things around MSRP. Now, of course, over recent years, that really isn't how it's moved. Any good set like Prismatic, Destined, Ascended now, move very quickly, but Ascended, I feel like, is kind of taking that to a new level, and within months is getting really prohibitively expensive for people like myself that like to collect and invest. But even more so for people, especially younger people in the hobby, that just want to buy a box to open. The prices are getting a little bit ridiculous. So when we look, at least in the UK, and it's very similar over in the States, you're basically talking $120 or £120 rather if you want to pick up this ETB, which is kind of ridiculous considering it's just a 2-month-old set. We're looking at well over double MSRP at this point, and should we be totally surprised by this? Perhaps not. It's such an incredibly popular and heavy hitter set in terms of the set list, but this really isn't great for the Pokemon world, and I don't think this is good for collectors or investors alike, because as someone that wants to buy and hold this box long term, I would much rather this be at MSRP right now. I would much rather there be like 4 or 5 times the amount printed. Everyone can get their hands on it, everyone can open it, everyone can enjoy it, and people like myself that want to open it but also keep some get the luxury of doing that without paying such a premium. Now at the moment, with the print rate seemingly not being adequate and the hype being so high, it kind of feels like everyone is being priced out because everyone wants to buy this, and subsequently the prices get absolutely ridiculous. Finding it at MSRP is a real struggle. Finding stores that actually choose to sell at that price, I understand why they don't, but finding it at MSRP on the shelves is hard enough because many people have the incentive, and frankly you can't blame them. If you see it for £50 on the shelf, you're going to buy it and you're going to sell it for 120 on eBay. That is just capitalism. That is just incentive. People will do that. You can't really blame. I know the term scalpers gets thrown around, but people that don't care about Pokemon, if they know enough to know that I can buy that and make £70 instantly, people are going to do it. You can love or hate it, but that's just the world that we live in, and that will never change. That is human psychology fundamentally. So I think scalpers gets overblown. People will go, and the incentives is where people will go, right? If there's an incentive to buy and sell, people will do that. If they print enough or hype goes down enough to the point where you can't instantly flip these, then this doesn't happen, right? So I've gone on a bit of a rant there, but the point I'm getting to is there's just not enough Ascended Heroes out there. It's a brand new set, and I really feel like for the longevity of Pokemon, it is good to have scarcity, but I do think these prices are too high too quickly, to the point where, as I said, it's really benefiting no one. So I want to just talk about the set list because we have to mention it, and I think some of these prices are actually maybe slightly under. I've seen this Pikachu selling for, there's been some listings I think on eBay over $1,000, but it goes without saying, and I've said this before, and I think this is being backed up more and more by the moving costs. This is potentially one of the best Pokemon set lists ever. That's just how I see it. A lot of people would disagree. A lot of people would agree. I've compared it with Prismatic before. Prismatic is extremely strong, but it doesn't have the same, I was going to say depth, but more variation that this set has. If you like Pikachu, this is a great set for you. If you like Dragonite, this is a great set for you. If you like Charizard, this is a great set. If you like Mewtwo, if you like Gengar, you pretty much ticked every box you can imagine. Whereas if you're not a big fan of evolutions, Prismatic isn't that exciting, right? So maybe that's a bit simplistic, but ultimately this set has a bigger appeal, and I think there's a good chance that long term this will be, unless something comes out to beat it, the best Pokemon set ever in terms of pure hits, in terms of the actual top hits, the top 5, top 6, top 7 hits. And that's why we're seeing this incredible price. Now we have to ask the question, are Pokemon printing less deliberately? Are they just simply not able to keep up? It's a question we just don't have the answer to. What we can say for sure is what they're doing now works in terms of generating hype. I'm sat here talking about it. Everyone wants to buy the set. Everyone's buying it the second they see it. I mean, imagine running a business where everything you make sells before you can barely get it out the door. I mean, that is pretty much as good as you could ever imagine to be in terms of a financial position and, the position that your business might be in. If you literally can't make things quick enough to sell them, you're doing something right. And perhaps Pokemon don't see it in their interest to just print to demand, because not many people understand this, but if this was too plentiful, it wouldn't be as desirable. So you have to tread that line. But I do believe that Pokemon could print a lot more of this and they would still see it fly off the shelves. So it's a bit of a mystery, right? Are Pokemon deliberately printing less to create an unbelievable demand? And have they done that for Prismatic, Destined, all of these sets? It's clearly worked. Or can they simply not keep up? Now, looking at TCG Player, we can see similar things going on in the States. We saw the price around $160 at release. Naturally, it comes down, stock hit the market. People might be thinking, maybe we're going to MSRP, got to around $100. What a bargain that looks like now. That's around £75. And now straight up, because we've not seen any restocks, that initial stocks hit the market, it's drying up, and every single day it's drying up. $146, around £125, very similar in the UK. So the point I'm getting to here is Ascended Heroes is... I don't even know what to say about this set. I mean, it's incredible, but it's also ruining the hobby because it's a brand new set. I want to open it, but it's prohibitively expensive. And I think a lot of people are feeling the same. And in some ways, that's why this bull run just isn't going to stop, because we're seeing 246 items sold a day at the moment. Or, is that across 2 days? Either way, the sell-through rate's insane, right? And that's at $150 per ETB. Imagine this drops to $100 or £80 or £90 on ETB because there's a restock. Just imagine how many units are going to be selling a day. The stock will instantly disappear. That's going to be a mix of people like myself investing and collecting, and just people buying it, ripping shippers, people tearing the product open, trying to get all of these unbelievable cards. It's going to be a bloodbath if there is even a reprint. Now, what we have to consider is when we look at, let me just switch over to my main cam. So when we actually look at historic sets, we've seen Prismatic get tons of ETB reprints, which did help the cost in the short term or reduce the price in the short term, but ultimately didn't have much effect. But another special set was 151, which saw a lot of reprints, but basically no ETB reprints. So we've got a situation where we could see the Prismatic route get taken for Ascended, and we see loads of ETBs, which might help the price somewhat. Or we see the 151 route, and we basically just see loads of bundles, we see loads of auxiliary items, and that just means that ETB will run and run and run. It goes without saying, if we don't get an ETB reprint in the next 6 months, this will get to just ridiculous prices, because the sell-through rate at the moment is unstoppable. I don't know exactly what the numbers are, but when I've looked at it in recent weeks, we're seeing around 50 ETBs, give or take, selling every single day. And that's at well over £100. So it's kind of insane. I mean, this is unprecedented demand. Pokemon is in one hell of a bull run, but add in what I think is the best Pokemon set ever, with some of the most expensive chases ever, the most unbelievably popular Pokemon. You just create just a ridiculous market that we're in right now. And I don't know when it's going to stop. We need a huge ETB reprint for the sake of everyone. I want to buy more. People want to open more. I want to open more. I want to hold more sealed. But with this current market, it kind of feels impossible. And I really don't know what happens next. But the state of the Ascended Heroes price right now is ruining the hobby a little bit. There, I said it. So it's hard to know whether this is a good time to buy. I still will be buying ETBs probably up to £150 once they get past there this early. I'm going to be getting scared to buy any more. But I do believe so strongly in this set. It's getting open so quickly, and it's so good that I think long term it's a great hold, even at these crazy prices. Of course, you got to make up your mind on your own about that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you like what's going on with Ascended right now, or do you think it is kind of ruining the hobby? No one has easy access to this product. Let me know what you think, as I say, in the comments. Drop a like if you've enjoyed. Subscribe. I'm a brand new channel, so subscriptions really do mean a lot. I'll catch you in the next one. Love.